Welcome to 4Gamer's Guide featuring Nidalee the Jungle Queen. Nidalee has a very unique playstyle that requires precision skill shots and a map awareness to know when to engage or back away from a fight. As with any jungler, it's important to change your items in order to adapt to the situation at hand. However, Nidalee focuses primarily on ability power, magic penetration, and cooldown reduction. As for your jungle item, Tracker's Knife allows you to get deep vision, which can prevent counter ganks or provide you with the necessary vision in order to make a pick happen. Just make sure you don't end up chasing your own tail. Nidalee has two parts to her passive, Prowl and Hunt. Prowl gives Nidalee increased movement speed, whereas Hunt marks a target which allows Nidalee to do empowered abilities against that target. Nidalee's Q Javelin Toss is a straight line skill shot that marks an enemy target as hunted. It also increases the damage based on how far it's travelled. Just be sure to have that dubstep ready when you make those 360 no-scopes. Nidalee's W Bushwhack is a trap that when placed can only be triggered by enemies. When the trap is triggered by an enemy, they will become marked for a short period of time. This can be either used defensively to gain vision, or aggressively to pounce onto that unsuspecting target. Nidalee's E, Primal Surge, is a small heal that can be used on herself or her allies. It also grants bonus attack speed based off of the rank. It's best to use this ability on your AD carry or when you're sieging turrets. Aspect of the Cougar changes Nidalee's form and abilities. Nidalee's E becomes Swipe. It deals damage in an arc to all enemies within that range. Nidalee's Q Takedown is an execute that increases damage based on the missing health of an enemy. This ability should always be used last in a combo. Nidalee's W Pounce is a small range jump that increases dramatically in range if the target she's moving towards is hunted. This ability can be used to create unpredictable gank pathing, providing that you don't hit your face off the wall. Nidalee's early clear is dependent on how well you use your traps. As shown here, if you set your traps up correctly, you'll utilise the damage of your traps as well as lower the cooldown of pounce. The trick to an efficient jungle clear is, yes, of course, a good leash, but also taking the least amount of damage you can whilst kiting out the camps, trying to achieve that level 3 so you can learn Primal Surge. If you can get to level 3 without taking too much damage, you'll find that you can clear the rest of your camps very efficiently and even maybe find time to gank. Try to switch out of your aspect of Cougar whenever the target is no longer hunted. That way you can actually use ranged auto attacks to take less damage before the target is then hunted again. That way you can use your spear, Javelin Toss, to actually proc the hunted mark and then jump in with more pounces in your Cougar form. In this clip you'll notice that level 3, having all 3 abilities will drastically improve your clear speed. Of course you have to remember that you're also a jungler, so use your smite effectively to regain lost health from that red buff. You'll also notice in this clip that enemy junglers invade. Seeing the ward placed over her red buff wall, Nidalee has two choices: to investigate with her low health and get herself killed, or to retreat backwards, heal up with Primal Surge, and then try and locate the Master Yi and figure out if he has low enough health for her to engage, or if she needs to back off. The most important thing to remember when dealing with counter jungling is to let your opponent finish the camp. That way they take the most damage and are much easier to pick off. The only way to be truly successful with Nidalee is to have great map awareness. In this clip, after just killing Master Yi, you'll notice that Fizz gets binded and tries to make a quick escape into the river. However, he didn't really bank on the fact that Nidalee was able to catch up with him. Cats do love fish. Always remember that Nidalee's counter ganks are just as effective as her ganks. It's all just a matter of timing. In this clip, Master Yi is about to gank Illaoi. Illaoi is pushed up quite far, and it's fairly certain to say that she'll give up a free kill. However, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go in and see if you can clean up the fight. Target prioritization is a key skill to master when playing Nidalee. It's all about how effectively you can use your javelin toss to make a target marked. It's also important that you don't focus the wrong target because all of your DPS will be wasted on that target. Because Rek'Sai is marked, not only do we get Rek'Sai's flash, but after the initial pounce, the next pounce is reduced in cooldown by 70%. In the early game, Nidalee specialises in unexpected ganks. It's not a good idea to fight head to head with a Master Yi, even if you do have a lead. While I don't suggest fighting head to head in the early game, it's always a good idea to use your javelin toss as effectively as possible to lower a target's health before you jump in cougar form and try to execute that target. In this clip you'll notice that Master Yi takes far too many spears to the face, and as a result you get a free kill and a lucky escape. It's always a great idea to have a plan when going into a game in order to make the best use of your composition. However, the sign of a great jungler is the ability to adapt to the given situation. As you've noticed in this game, Rek'Sai has lost his flash and is about half health. Now is the time to repeat gank, although it seems that Rek'Sai didn't learn how to dodge. Teamfighting with Nidalee begins and ends with javelin toss. If you miss your Q, your DPS is severely reduced, as well as your chase potential, but that doesn't mean that you can't just jump in there and do as much DPS as you can for your team. You can even dive under turret for 2 kills if you're willing to trade the free kill back. In this extended teamfight, you'll notice the repositioning of Nidalee in order to secure kills later on. To begin with, it starts off fairly normal as Nidalee starts poking down the enemy champions. However, Master Yi gets very impatient and starts to dive the backline. This leads to an easy free kill. However, it's what Nidalee does afterwards that makes it impressive. Nidalee stays in the backline to prevent Illaoi from diving, and afterwards moves into a position that is unwarded and is clearly free of vision. Because Lux and Caitlyn were low, Nidalee moves into a position where she's completely out of vision, misdirecting the Rek'Sai into thinking that he can commit to a dive and still get out. With Morgana by herself, it's an easy flash to deny her the path to get back to safety. This final teamfight will remind you of the early clear with Nidalee Jungle. It's very much a case of jumping in and out, using the opportunities presented to you to land as much damage as possible, while still preventing the damage that you take being so significant. This trick is another form of misdirection. The concept is to bring all of the focus off of your teammates and onto yourself, making yourself look as juicy as possible to kill so that your teammates can follow up. Thank you for watching this guide. Be sure to subscribe for more League of Legends content.